After more than 3 decades of chamber music excellence in the city of Winnipeg and beyond, Virtuosi Concerts has officially announced that it is winding down its operations. The concert series has brought several of the best classical music artists from Canada and beyond to Winnipeg audiences. And although it will not be going forward in this form, the legacy of Virtuosi Concerts will be preserved by a new partnership with the Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg, whose board, in the interest of full disclosure to you, our Classic 107 audience, I currently am a member. Heidi Reimer-Epp is the board chair for Virtuosi Concerts. She joins us now on Morning Light to tell us more about this sort of momentous occasion. Good morning, Heidi.
Good morning.
So, how are you feeling today now that the news is officially out there about Virtuosi Concerts and its winding down of operations?
Oh, it's a total mixed bag of emotion. We've been working really intensely towards this moment for many weeks now, and to have it out there in the public, I guess there's some relief there. There's also incredible pride in the board and Jennifer Thiessen, our artistic producer, and getting us to this moment, and our members as well for the support that they've given us, and also the incredible feedback that we're receiving from participants in Virtuosi over all of these decades, and their thanks that they're sending our way, and then of course the sadness of not being able to continue, but then also the gratitude to Women's Musical Club for taking on the assets in this merger and the partnership that we're going to be talking about.
Yes, so much to talk about with this merger, but maybe to back up a little bit, you can maybe speak to some of the factors that led to this decision for Virtuosi Concerts to cease operations as they have been existing over the last, over 3 decades in the city of Winnipeg.
Yeah, for sure. So we were founded 34 years ago, and during that time, we enjoyed a strong partnership with the University of Winnipeg, and we presented our concerts out of their hall at the University of Winnipeg. Then some changes took place in 2020, where that was no longer available to us, and so with the support of the arts community, donors, the granting bodies, we carried on despite the pandemic and figured out a path forward. But it's all arts organizations are experiencing this, which is that audience members, subscription holders, they just have not returned to the pre-pandemic levels. And so that's a key part of putting on a concert series, is having the audience attending and the revenue from that. And then at the same time, over this past concert season, we were looking to get some grants to fund our operations, and those grants did not come through. So with the shortfall there, and also with the subscriber base dwindling, and we can point to many different reasons in terms of changes in behavior, economic uncertainty from tariffs. It's just all of these factors coming into play. We're not the only ones experiencing these challenges, but the math just didn't work. We tried everything that we could, left no stone unturned, looking for ways to offer a reduced season in different formats, looking for funding, and then eventually we reached the conclusion that it was the time to roll it up.
I would imagine also that now that the news is public, that you're probably hearing from the subscribers that we're still seeing what Virtuosi could be offering to Winnipeg's sort of classical music tapestry. What are some of the things that you have been hearing from those audience members about this, this closing of Virtuosi's operations?
Well, they've spoken to us about how much the concert series has meant to them. I think Virtuosi had a very unique position within the Winnipeg arts community in terms of presenting chamber music in this intimate salon style presentation. And so the interaction between audience members and the artists themselves, that was really special. So we've heard about the impact that has had, the volunteers as well that have really supported us and been with us for so many years. That was a special experience for them as well, being part of this concert series. And I realized that the interested parties in Virtuosi, as with all our arts organization, are the volunteers, the audience members, the subscribers, the people that are experiencing classical music for the first time, the ones that loved classical music for their whole lives, and then of course the artists themselves. So it's really this community, and Virtuosi was known Canada-wide, I would say North American-wide, for this niche that they occupied.
Well, and certainly if you consider all the different sort of concert offerings that have been a part of those Virtuosi seasons over the last number of years, those have been very much internationally recognized artists. I think about even this past season, everybody from Rachel Barton Pine all the way through to Toronto pianist Luke Welch and the Ensemble Constantinople. As you reflect on your time as board chair, Heidi, I'm wondering if you have any highlights that you're going to carry with you into this sort of next chapter of Virtuosi Concerts.
Yeah, absolutely. When I think back on this last season, that Luke Welch concert was a real highlight. The solo performance that he provided was so intimate, so virtuosic, and the interaction with the audience. He came out at intermission and mingled with the audience, and we got the chance to speak with him. And he just gave of himself from the concert stage, the way he spoke between the different pieces. It was just a really incredible concert. I think everyone who attended felt really moved by that opportunity to be present there. Another memory and another thing that I'm going to bring forward from this, because I became board chair in January. So I came on at that point because we knew that Virtuosi was facing some challenges, and the board wanted to address that in a very strategic way. And so I was really impressed with the board. And I think that's an experience that I'll bring forward with me always, in the sense that when you have a board that really, really cares about the organization that they are in charge of, and have had their struggles and their challenges, but are working together as a team, that is very powerful. That when people come together like that they can do really good things. And our donors as well, that we did a special appeal to say we want to finish the season strong, and they came alongside and supported us, and we were able to finish that season. So all the young artists got to perform, all of the contracts and the commitments that we made to the artists, those were fulfilled. That was a really good feeling.
Yeah. Now from one board, you now move to another as you assume a role on the board with the Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg to help to usher the legacy and the ethos of Virtuosi Concerts into its next iteration. Maybe before we even break down the details of this partnership, maybe you can talk about how the partnership with the Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg first came about.
We, as a board, we were saying, all right, so what is our next step then if this is something that we would like to find another organization with which to merge? And so we identified the Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg as an organization that had similar values and a similar mission to Virtuosi. And so there was that alignment, I would say. And we put on a concert together this past season, so we were familiar with working together. But really, the Women's Musical Club, the way it supports young artists with their scholarship programs and also with chamber music performance, it just aligned. So we had some early conversations with members of the board to test our sense of that alignment, and indeed it was there. And then conversation moved forward to this point.
Of course, when we think about Virtuosi Concerts over the last couple of years, a big part of that has been the support of young artists that are either performing at the beginning of concerts as a sort of a prelude, or else maybe there are opportunities to perform at places like the Millennium Library, for example, that I'm thinking of for Virtuosi. So indeed, that partnership with the Women's Musical Club and their support of that next generation of classical talent makes a lot of sense. On a practical level, what does the partnership of Virtuosi Concerts and maybe the remaining assets look like for the Women's Musical Club? And maybe you could walk us through some of the plans for those assets.
Yes, well, Virtuosi has an endowment fund through the generosity of our donors some years ago. And so the arrangement that we have now with Women's Musical Club is that that endowment is going to be used for a named Virtuosi scholarship or award. So that will fund this annual award in the name of Virtuosi, and it will be awarded to a promising emerging artist that is committed to the performance of modern classical repertoire. Then alongside, we're also going to be having a recurring, again, named Virtuosi concert or concert element that will continue to promote modern and contemporary classical music within the Women's Musical Club broader season. So we're going to be figuring out now what the next steps are and exactly how that's going to look, but that is the agreement that we have made, and we're really excited to see how that's going to play out.
That's really exciting to hear that there is a commitment to the contemporary classical music scene that Virtuosi has been such a champion of in the city of Winnipeg for the last number of years. As you go forward into this next chapter of Virtuosi, because it's not completely an end, what do you hope to see from this partnership to ensure that Virtuosi's maybe legacy and that ethos remain alive? Or in other words, as we contemplate like a new concert and a new scholarship to support that next generation of classical music, how would you hope to see that Virtuosi legacy shine through with these new initiatives?
Well, I really hope that we all move our support over to the Women's Musical Club, because I think, if anything, this example of Virtuosi demonstrates the importance of a community support. If we want to see classical music continuing and these opportunities for young performers and to raise them up in their careers and just enjoy classical music, we need to support through our subscriptions, through donations, through volunteering. And so that's what I want to encourage everyone in the Winnipeg arts community is to, if you are a supporter of Virtuosi, and even if you're not, this is a good chance now to become a supporter of the Women's Musical Club, and for us all to keep supporting arts in Winnipeg so that it remains a vibrant scene.
Yes, and what a wonderful vision it is then to have new supporters for a sort of a joint venture in this vein. It's a great time to get on board with with this new sort of initiative. We have more information this morning at our website, classic107.com, and on the Classic 107 app if you want to read more. Heidi Reimer-Epp, first of all, congratulations on an incredible run with Virtuosi Concerts, to you and to artistic producer Jennifer Thiessen and to the entire board of directors. And all the best as you figure out what that sort of next iteration of the assets of Virtuosi Concerts, what it can do here in the city of Winnipeg for our classical music community.
Thank you so much, Nolan, and huge thanks to Classic 107 as well for your ongoing support of Virtuosi and the arts in general.